everybody, and welcome back to this week's edition of the Cavalier Roundtable. The women's soccer team has been red hot, and they've had quite a few shutouts. And Jason, how about the play of Hassel?
Yeah, Caroline Hassel, Atlantic East Conference Defensive Player of the Week, and she really earned it, let's be honest. 18 saves over the last 4 games, 4 straight shutouts, just absolutely standing tall in cage and really locking down that Cabrini defense. Ryan, you have anything more to add on the defense, what they've added to this program?
I mean, the defense, you've got Wojciech, you've got Cunningham playing on the back line there. They're both playing smart outside the box and not allowing too many shots in on Hassel, so Hassel hasn't had to do too much work there. So if they keep playing the way they are, they'll be good.
Yeah, going to the offense, for Cunningham and Morello, the two of them are definitely the heart of the offense this year so far, both of them with 4 goals each, I think. But going to the FDU game that they just played a few days ago, that was a huge win for the team.
Massive.
Looking back at it, huge win.
11-0.
Going into the game, FDU, I think, was undefeated, 11-0. So huge team win, and I think it really set for them how they were going to play for the conference play into the Newman game.
Exactly. It's so important in conference play. Like, it's the most important time of the year. You need to win those games because that's how you win championships. The conference championships, those are not only the goal around here, but it's the standard. Wouldn't you guys agree?
And the big part about a conference championship is really that's how you get to the tournament. So all these games in this pre-conference play part of the season, that's building up for a deep NCAA tournament run that every team wants to go on. And this Cabrini women's soccer team is really proving that they're kind of ready to step up and play against some of the big guns. The big win against Florham, I think, just being a nice cherry on top to that, sending them into conference play hot.
Absolutely, and that win in Florham also proves that they can now consistently win on the road. They dropped majority of their opening games on the road, and they're going to have to play on the road in the tournament. There's a 99% chance that we will not be hosting a women's soccer tournament game here. They'll have to go on the road. They lost last year to Christopher Newport. See if they can rectify that this year.
Yeah, this year on the road, they had that one loss against Lebanon Valley College. They got shut out 2-0, and then they went ahead, and then they won not 1, not 2, 3 games on the road. So that's what we really like to see out of this team. You got to win not only the home games, you got to win the road games. You got to win them all.
Absolutely, you can't lose. I mean, obviously, you don't like to see losses on the stat column. One thing I find interesting is Coach Ken Prothero scheduled Washington College right in the heart of conference play, and I'm wondering how that's going to, change the approach that this team has. Obviously, playing all their conference games, and then they're playing Immaculata before that, and then have to go right back into conference play. So it'll be interesting to see how that affects them.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good look to get that non-conference team kind of mixed in there. We saw it a little bit similarly last season with the Cabrini men's lacrosse team. They scheduled Scranton as the last game of the season before AEC, just kind of as a final test to see not only how you're able to do in conference, but also a top foe that was competing out of conference. So Washington College, they've been a great program for a couple years. So it's going to be a challenge that kind of sets up the girls ready, primed for a deep AEC tournament run, and hopefully get into the NCAA tournament with a lot of momentum that they can get past that first round.
We were talking about shutouts earlier, and one thing that stands out to me on the stat sheet is the last time there wasn't a shutout in the women's soccer game here for Cabrini, whether they won or lost, was against Arcadia on the 14th of September. That was a 3-1 loss on the road there in Glenside. So, I mean, Matt, what has helped them be able to either shut out teams or unfortunately be shut out when they lose?
I think it's kind of the momentum, right? It's all about, you always hear, who scores that first goal. That first goal is so crucial, and it sets the tone for the rest of the game, and that's what you've seen. And whether it be the Cavaliers, they score the first goal, or it be whoever they're playing. If they score the first goal, they control that game from there on. And it's a game of catch-up for the other team. And the Cavaliers, they haven't been able to really play those games of catch-up, but they have been able to control those other games.
Speaking of shots, Cavaliers averaged 13.5 shots per game, 149 total on the season. That is ridiculous. Averaging 14 goals to an opponent's 7. So it's good that despite the fact that they're losing these games, they're still taking more shots and scoring more goals than their opponents.
And then another team that they've been struggling a little bit on the road, but at home they have been pretty hot. It's been the volleyball team. How have you guys been feeling about them so far this year?
Yeah, they've definitely been struggling on the road. They're 1-6 for away games so far, so road games a little tough for them, but they've been doing pretty good at home so far. But Hannah Dalton has been on fire this season. She recently, just early September, got her 1,000th career for kills and has been doing awesome. I think she also just was named to the Haverford Invitational All-Tournament team, so she's been really killing it this year.
One thing that Dalton allows this Cavaliers team to do outside of being the dominant force that she is on the court is you put her out there, you can use her as a disguise because everybody's going to rally to try to block her. And then that leaves Lily Bainham, that leaves Victoria Camacho, that leaves all these other players for the Cavaliers open to make plays on their own.
Yeah, and that has been opened up recently through the Cavaliers having that kind of distraction of Dalton. Sam Heenan, last year, Atlantic East Conference Rookie of the Year, and this year she's 5th in the AEC in kills with 151, and really has been a great contributing factor, like they said, using her as kind of a decoy, setting up for Dalton, and then they throw it back to her on the backside. The defense has to shift around, and she's able to get those points for the Cavaliers in crucial sets.
Absolutely, and it's big for Coach Schaefer to have Heenan on the team because he knows that this team's in good hands as these players, advance and graduate. He's not stuck losing. Obviously, he's going to lose his top players right now, but he knows that he has good young freshmen and young sophomores who can grow this team, and they will continue to be a dominant force. And as we were talking about with women's soccer, obviously, you got to win conference games and you got to win the conference tournament.
Yeah, and you talk about that team being young, but one thing they also have is they have that graduate student leadership on that back line. Gina Custer, she's been doing it for years, and she just keeps plugging up that middle. They're serving it, and it's basically falling right into her arms, and she's getting the looks she needs to get.
Custer seems to really rally the team when she steps back to serve, too. It seems like if they're struggling in a game, Custer will step back to serve, and then all of a sudden the team comes to life, whether it's the front line of Bainham and Dalton, or if it's Custer just getting aces off the back line. Something seems to click for this team when she steps over the back line to serve.
It's definitely interesting, being that she's from the libero position and you have to stay on that back line. You seem to see her all across the court. If there's a ball coming in from the other side, an attack from either corner, she's usually one who's diving out, trying to get that dig, saving it and keeping it in play. And that's why she's led the team last year in digs, had 80 in just 4 matches the previous week. So really bringing that veteran leadership with her and showing why I believe she was Specialist of the Year in the Atlantic East Conference last year, and looking to rebound and take that again this season.
Yeah, so let's hope Gina Custer, Hannah Dalton, the rest of the volleyball team keep it up, as well as the women's soccer team as they both enter conference play. And that'll be it for us on this week's edition of Cavaliers Roundtable. Go out there, watch some Cabrini sports. This has been House 67 Productions.